it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
Back on this rap-ish, I ain't even broke a sweat, homie, this practice. Pondering my next move, staring at my track list, hope I ain't miss my window. Praying like a Baptist, Seattle's own, tired of this Game of Thrones. They made a list of the best rappers and guess who wasn't on? While the disrespect continues, I'm steady packing these venues. Guess if you ain't at the table, you on the menu, and I'm that spitter, baby. They don't want you to see, but everybody's south of Capitol Hill's rocking with me. Boys smoke the trays and ponder getting their life together. I'm comfortable with my role, so I'm like, whatever. Me? I ain't got a job, but I work hard. And you don't work hard, but you got a job. The irony is I'm judged while you feel the applause. I'm slept on, that's why I had to set this alarm. My dudes is armed, I'm armed with this arm charm. Body banging like she got that cream from Barry Bonds. Yeah.
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
That Dre season is here, a real hitter with a mic, I'm everything that they fear. With that hood ain't the same, I was all on their ass, I'm level-headed. So yo, my dudes love when I spaz, and I'm so over Seattle's passive-aggressive attitude. They don't call you back, what they really saying is F you. While I'm from the same place, I move at a different pace. I prefer if you just said it to my face, damn, I did it.
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
Average dudes with they average spit, writing average rhymes, knocking average chicks. The closer I get, I can feel the people starting to shift. I'm loyal to a fault, and everybody can't come with. Rap's a rich man's game, I'm only playing with change. They bang models and singers, I'm knocking my own flame, I'm different. The crowd, I move with the chosen few. Black thoughts, I could be the front man for the roots. No diamonds and gold, I'm on my sticks and stones. If we can see your panty line, you should have on a thong. My team is strong, through this fire we forged a bond. And they already know what it is when I get on. To the hearse, party like it's December 31st. When I'm on my deathbed, I probably cracking my nurse. You ain't got the bars to compete. I'm a verbal athlete, deflating these boys so they say that I cheat. Damn, I did it.
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
Yeah. I should probably start by apologizing for the long wait, man. You know, I know I be tripping. But I'm not just a rapper, I'm an artist. And, you know, my creative process is a little bit different than most. Nonetheless, I want to welcome everybody out to the Dre's Experience. I got TCF in the building. My whole camp's here with me. I got the band in here laying this cool-ass vibe. And I'm Seattle's own. Let's get into it.
Hey, you heard him right there, too. He said, I'm not just a rapper, I'm an artist. Hey, what's up? Good morning, everybody. My name is Omari Salisbury. I want to welcome you to the Morning Update Show right here on Converge Media. Flying solo today. My buddy, my partner in crime, Trey Holiday, she's got the day off. So guess what? You're stuck with me. That being the case is the perfect time right now to remind you to tag and share the stream. Go ahead and tag and share the stream. Stream with people you know could appreciate culturally relevant news and information emanating from right here in the Emerald City. We got two guests today. We've got Michael Taylor-Judd from the Human Services Department of the City of Seattle. They've got a utility discount program. You know, quite a few people are struggling to pay their utilities. We're going to talk about the utility discount program and what's going on there. And then also we got Paula Sardinas. Paula Sardinas will be joining us. Man, it was a lot. It was funky down in Olympia. Paula's going to tell us everything that was happening down in Olympia. What else we got going on here today? Oh, this is what I wanted to bring up to everybody. Tonight, 7 o'clock, right here, where you're watching the Morning Update Show, the South Seattle Emerald. The Emerald turns 7. It's a live stream. It's going to be pretty dope. It's going on tonight, 7 o'clock. You want to make sure and tune in right here. Anywhere that you're watching the Morning Update Show, you can watch that. All right. On the national front, we got a few stories here today. First one coming out of Elizabeth City, North Carolina. This is CBS this morning.
A North Carolina judge has decided not to release body camera video of a deadly police shooting, at least for now. Sheriff's deputies killed Andrew Brown Jr. while serving a felony drug warrant last week in Elizabeth City, North Carolina. And that's where we find our Manuel Bojorquez. Manny, good morning to you. Why isn't the judge releasing this video as Brown's family wants it to do?
Well, good morning. The judge said that releasing the video could hurt the investigation and threaten the safety of anyone who is on it, and he ruled that it will remain out of the public eye for at least 30 days. For the first time, we got to hear the district attorney's version of what happened the day Andrew Brown died. Prosecutor Andrew Womble, who viewed the body camera videos and a dash camera video, said Brown's car, quote, makes contact with sheriff's deputies twice before shots were fired. Attorneys for Brown's family dispute that and say Brown never hit any of the deputies in the 20 seconds of videos that they have seen so far. They say any confusion will be cleared up if the tape is released to the public. A few protesters clashed with police in Elizabeth City last night during the 8th straight day of protests. Now, the family is claiming a partial victory because the judge ruled that they will be allowed to view redacted versions of all the videos within 10 days. Anthony?
Well, thank you.
All right. So again, like these guys are playing a game down there in North Carolina, and it's a lot of tension is growing. They haven't released this tape, as you saw right there, and now there's people. So there's the original community that's there in Elizabeth City. People got an issue with the sheriff. It was the sheriff that went served this warrant and shot Brown. They don't necessarily have an issue with the city police, Elizabeth City. It's Elizabeth City, North Carolina. That's the police. Pascal Tank is the sheriff that's over there. Now, nationally, you've got a lot of people that are migrating down there. One of the reasons people are migrating down there is like they're not being transparent around the tapes. And then another thing that's happening, because it's small town, you know, it's interesting because Elizabeth City is small town. It's 17,000, 18,000 people. I promise you, when I went to school down there, I knew everybody in the city. 17,000 of them. But you know, one of the things that's interesting for my friends that live there is that, you know, it's the city is becoming more and more polarized over this. And it's a lot of just inflammatory racist statements that is happening there. You know, by people people have known their whole life or went to school with. Like, people are choosing sides over this thing here in the city. And so I really don't see it getting better before it gets worse over there, especially with him sitting on this tape. But we'll keep an eye on it. In other news, and this is good news right here. The feds came in and they've indicted these guys down there in Georgia for the murder, for hate crimes, for the murder of Ahmaud Arbery. You guys might remember, who've been watching the Morning Update show for a long time, is like we were talking about what was going on in Brunswick, Georgia for a while before it made it to a national story. It came across it, and we started following it and some everything else. This is a clip right here from 11 Alive, WXIA in Atlanta, Georgia.
Federal hate crime and attempted kidnapping charges just brought against 3 white men accused in the killing of Ahmaud Arbery. This comes more than a year after Arbery, a black man, was chased down and shot while jogging in a neighborhood near Brunswick. And that is our top story this morning. Arbery's family attorney says these charges bring some relief and a safety net if the state fails them. Travis McMichael and his father Gregory were charged, along with the third man, William Roddy Bryan Jr. They are each facing 1 count of interference with civil rights and attempted kidnapping. The McMichaels are also charged with using, carrying, and brandishing a firearm during a crime of violence. 25-year-old Arbery was jogging through a Brunswick neighborhood last February when he was shot and killed. The indictment charges the McMichaels armed themselves, got into a pickup truck, and chased Arbery through public streets while yelling and using their truck to cut off his route before threatening him with firearms and killing him. Esley Merritt, an attorney for Arbery's mother, applauded the hate crimes charges.
Hate crime charges were really important to Wanda. She advocated for a hate crime law to be passed in Georgia so that no other family would go without that additional protection. But we want to see these men convicted and held to the fullest extent of the law, which would be life in prison.
Arbery would have been 27 years old. Mother's Day weekend. Merritt says these federal charges are like a Mother's Day gift for his mom. And we have more on the charges over on 11alive.com. We also included a timeline of the killing of Ahmaud Arbery, so you're up to date.
Yeah. So again, federal hate crime charges right there, and they got to, because you can't just trust the system down there in Georgia. These guys were out on the streets. If it wasn't for national pressure, it was like they killed Ahmaud Arbery and they was just out kicking it. And it was the fact of like national pressure that they were even like arrested and put in jail and some everything else. And man, I remember, like I said, covering this story, and it's like, damn, man, it's just jogging while black, you know? Um, and it just makes you wonder, like right now, how many things are happening because of cameras? How many things are happening because there was a phone, there was video, there was whatever present? So it's wild. Moving on, one more thing that I wanted to to bring up here real quick before we go to break and we come back with Michael Taylor-Judd from Human Services is I reached out to the Seattle Police Department yesterday, and I reached out to Mayor Durkin. I'm waiting to hear back from them. But I reached out to them because it's, that Chief Diaz was saying that there's a shortage of officers. And if you do the math based on whatever, it very well might be that Seattle is running low on officers that might not be able to fulfill their charter agreement. And I talked a little bit about this yesterday, but I'm going to just bring it up again here today. I think that they do the citizens here a disservice by not just telling the whole story. So because all the media stuff out here just says, well, officers don't feel appreciated, which is probably true. They probably don't feel appreciated. Officers don't feel the public supports them. It's probably true. They probably feel the public doesn't support them. But they're leaving out the whole point that like hundreds of thousands of people in Seattle witnessed this police violence during the protest, and it changed their sentiment towards the police. And so when they go on media and they're just like, oh, well, the public doesn't agree with us, the public doesn't support us, I think that people need to tell the whole story. The whole story is 1 year ago right now, like I said, the majority of the city council was pro-police. The majority of the city council was in love with Chief Carmen Batts. They were trying to lift the consent decree. There was all kinds of things that were going on. Man, June 1st, when this police violence really started in a residential area in Seattle and was sustained for over 7-8 days in a Western barricade, man, it really changed the way that people felt about police in the city. So like SPD should really probably be saying like, hey, we had a great relationship with the community and with the city council, and the events of the summer has put things in a position where, we need to rebuild relationships with citizens and whatever with the city council or whatever. But they're not saying that. People are just disingenuous. They're just going on TV and being like, oh, well, look at all these exit interviews. The exit interviews say that officers don't feel this and that. Man, tell the whole truth. Yes, I guarantee you that there's officers in here where they bump into the general public and general public says something to them, because maybe somebody in the general public, maybe their girlfriend was up there working on Capitol Hill and got hit with tear gas. And they have a negative sentiment towards the police. And so that's what I'm saying is like, we can't realistically move forward. These things need to be resolved, but we can't realistically move forward as a city until we tell the whole story, tell the whole truth. And for the other local media out there, stop it. Why don't you guys? I mean, we just a little engine that could over here. You guys are supposed to be the ones that are digging deeper on this issue with these exit interviews. You guys keep talking about, oh, here's the exit interview. I haven't seen nobody say, I wonder what the Seattle protests played into public sentiment, and maybe that's why these exit interviews say what they say. You know what I'm saying? I mean, other local media, this is your job. You know what I'm saying? You're not supposed to just go with these press releases and these narratives, man. So, anyways, we're going to take a short break right now. When we come back, we've got Michael Taylor-Judd of Human Services talking about utility discount program. You're watching the Morning Update Show.
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
Back on this rap ish, I ain't even broke a sweat, homie, this practice. Pondering my next move, staring at my track list, hope I ain't miss my window. Praying like a Baptist, Seattle's own, tired of this Game of Thrones. They made a list of the best rappers and guess who wasn't on? While the disrespect continues, I'm steady packing these venues.
Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media.
The story of Converge Media did not start at the Seattle protests or at the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, nor 4 years ago when we very first opened our doors. The true story of Converge Media is firmly rooted in the legacy of Black media heroes of yesterday, whose shoulders that we stand upon today. Converge Media is firmly rooted in the pioneering spirit of Horace Caton Sr., who over 125 years ago launched the Seattle Republican newspaper alongside his wife, Susie Revels Caton, a trailblazer in her own right, serving as the associate editor, a groundbreaking feat for a woman and especially a Black woman at that time. We are rooted in the visionary eye of Al Smith, who documented Black beauty, culture, vibrance, and excellence through his lens. We are rooted in the benevolence of Fitzgerald Beaver, who envisioned the Facts newspaper, the very same newspaper where my father, James Salisbury Jr., was a staff photographer over 4 decades ago. We are rooted in the broad and innovative shoulders of Chris Bennett, who with his Z-Twins radio took the story of Black excellence to the airwaves. We are rooted in the fearlessness of Roberta Bird Barr, who 56 years ago broke ground and shattered stereotypes as she hosted the TV show Face to Face that tackled issues of race and equity head on. We are rooted in the rhythms of Gordon Curvey, whose music Inner City brought our culture and vibes to TV screens across the Emerald City. Converge Media is also inspired by our contemporary icons. We are inspired by the commitment to storytelling from Tony B and Rainier Avenue Radio, and inspired by the passion and dedication of Marcus Harrison Green of the South Seattle Emerald. So you see, when you look at Converge Media today, and especially as we celebrate the 1-year anniversary of the Morning Update Show, just know that our story did not begin with us, nor will it end with us, as it is our duty at Converge Media to broaden our shoulders for the next generation of Black media innovators, to stand firmly upon them and to tell the stories of our community to generations yet to come. Share the stream. All right, welcome back to the Morning Update Show. And you saw right there, say contemporary icons, Marcus Harrison Green at South Seattle Emerald, man. We're really excited. Today is the big day. The Emerald turns 7, again, 7 o'clock tonight, right here where you're watching the Morning Update Show. You can check this out. It's going to be great. You can share, you can give, you can lead, and they got a compact show. They're not gonna go overboard like we did. We did 3 hours. We did 3 hours. It was lit though, huh? Oh yeah, yeah. No, people stayed with us. They stayed with us for all 3 hours. This is scheduled. The Emerald scheduled for 1 hour though. All right. Oh yeah, D'Alessandro. Please bring in Michael Taylor-Judd. Whoa.
Good morning, Amari. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm here to help spread the word about this great program the city has.
Okay, so before we get to that, I'll let you introduce yourself to our viewing audience.
Sure. My name is Michael Taylor-Judd, and I work for the Seattle Human Services Department.
Okay, and for people who might not be up on things, I'm sure they do a lot, so you can use the condensed version. But what does Human Services Department do?
The simple thing is we're here to try and support people, in getting their needs met, and living healthy, happy lives here in Seattle. And so that runs the range from, youth programming like the Seattle Youth Employment Program and summer food program, all the way out to aging and disability services. We had you on our some of our age-friendly live virtual events earlier this year, bringing conversation, important news and information out to some of the older Americans, and then everything in between, including helping families and households afford to live here in Seattle, which is what we'll be talking about today.
Yeah, affording to live, being able to live affordably is important. And that age friendly, that was cracking, man. And so for people who don't know, right, man, I got to hang out with all of our elder buddies across the city of Seattle. And it's like, if you know me, people who know me, it's like, if you really want me to move on something, let it be about the kids or let it be about our elders. Because with that, even like that show that day, it was happening the same time as the morning update show. It is very rare I'll ever leave my own show to do something else. But I remember that morning, man, for Age Friendly, I was like, I'm hanging out with all the elders today, and we're going to have a good time. I forgot that was part of Human Services.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. All right, so tell us now, what are we talking about here today? Is this a utility discount program?
Yeah, so we have this program called the Utility Discount Program, and it provides assistance to households with either Seattle City Light or Seattle Public Utilities accounts. And if you're a customer, that you can get a 60% discount on your electricity bills, and you can get a 50% discount on your water, sewer, and garbage bills. And this is a discount that's available to households that meet family income guidelines and are residents here in Seattle.
Are we finding that many of our residents here are having troubles paying their utilities, and that's why you guys have launched this utility discount program?
It's not a new program. We've had it around, I can't remember how many years, but it has been around for a number of years now. We're very lucky here in Seattle that, some of the original city leaders, years ago, were able to make some decisions that helped us own some of the lands up in the mountains there that provide our hydroelectricity, and that we have publicly owned utilities here, which is not something that is common in many cities, certainly not in many other places, not just in Washington, but across the country.
They saw what happened in Texas.
Yep.
There was a whole lot of private utilities down there in Texas, and a lot of failures, by the way.
Yeah. And so our city leaders now believe very strongly, and our utilities believe that if we're publicly owned, that we have a duty to, to give back and to help folks, help all of our residents, get through. And so it's a real privilege, I think, at the Human Services Department for us to staff this program on behalf of the utilities.
Yeah, well, and people should realize too that it's the gift that keeps on giving, because this kind of makes sense because of where we are in America and topography and everything else. Like, we have cheap electricity here, generally speaking, because of the Columbia River, you know what I'm saying, and the BPA. There's so many dams that are sitting there on the Columbia River to provide electricity, and as well as this fresh water coming off of the Cascade Mountain ranges and everything else. So it's like we're already in a position to win, and so it's good that win is all making its way all the way down to people in our community who really need it the most. Tell us, man, how do people get up with the Human Services Department on this utility discount program?
Sure. To be eligible, You have to have a household income that's at or below 70% of the state median income. And so, for example, if you've got a household of 4 people, you can earn up to, it's just under $6,000 a month, or an annual income of $71,952 before taxes. And we've got a chart on our website that shows income guidelines. And, if you've got more than 4 people in your household or less, it'll sort of walk you through that. And you can find that at seattle.gov/UDP.
All right, good stuff. Well, I'll tell you this, man. I really appreciate you joining us here this morning. And, it's a good thing, too, because, on the morning update show, a lot of times, just because the nature of the news these days, there's a lot of places where people are very critical of city government, right? And I really appreciate the fact that you're able to come on here this morning and really be able to shed some light on some of the things that are happening here that are providing real-time, valuable services to the citizens of Seattle.
Well, thank you very much for having us. I mean, this is the favorite part, the job, right? When you can tell people about good things that we have on offer that help people and help support families, help support their households, and, make sure we can all get through, this current public health crisis and come out the other side. So.
All right. Good stuff, man. Thank you so much, Michael. Have a wonderful day.
All right. You too. Bye-bye.
All right. Michael Taylor-Judd right there from Human Services. Man, I didn't know Human Services was doing all this and that. I mean, they got a lot of stuff going on. Utilities, some of everything else. I think we're going to take a ZYD break here right now. And when we come back, we're going to keep the conversation going. You're watching the Morning Update Show.
Public Health, Seattle, King County, Zero Youth Detention, along with our partners from across the South King County region, are committed to reducing violence and creating the conditions needed for our neighborhoods to be safe and free of crime. Too often, the response to crime and violence has been a piecemeal approach with a program here and a program there. When family units collapse, schools fail to educate, the economy fails to produce jobs, and crime rises, we've looked to law enforcement and punitive measures to save us. Nothing could be more wrong or further from the truth. Law enforcement can't shoulder all the burden or take the rest of us off the hook. We are acknowledging the lived experiences of Black, Brown, and Indigenous communities. We are centering community as the experts who can effectively identify key issues related to systems, policies, and practices that impact children, families, and communities of color across this region. Those most impacted by the issues will help call out and identify the root causes, including structural and systemic factors. 150 residents will partner with King County to develop strategies, solutions, and an action plan that explicitly addresses system changes needed and eliminates barriers to access for Black, Brown, and Indigenous folks. These residents will also identify the criteria used to measure our collective success. Simply put, we need your help as we do the work needed to make King County the safest in this country. It will take specific commitments from all of us, community members, our young people, elders, and leaders from the sectors all across this region. Together, we will get this work done. Please click the link below and sign up for a work group. Or you can recommend a co-facilitator from community for each work group. We look forward to hearing your ideas, concerns, feedback, and solutions as we build a community where all our children can be happy, healthy, hopeful, safe, and thriving.
All right, welcome back to the morning update show. My name is Omari Salisbury. Looks like we got a little switch up in our programming today. We always keep it real. We had a guest on the hook, Paula Sardinas. I know she said she was moving around, and maybe she's moving around right now instead of being on air. I was going to save this to the end of this show. We'll play this now. This is CBS This Morning. They did a segment here about Black farmers.
It's been 16 years since King County was renamed after Martin Luther.
I would say that's Joe Gwynn. Oh, and I said Gwen again, too. So, they get ready to jump on my head. Joe Wynn. But go ahead. We give Joe some shot. Joe, we're going to have to start charging you for these ads, though. Go ahead and play the Joe Win ad. Let's figure out where the other video's at.
It's been 16 years since King County was renamed after Martin Luther King Jr., and I believe it's time to live up to our namesake. It's time for us to fight for what we believe in. My name is Joe Wynn, and I'm running for King County Executive. It's time we build a new vision for our region, a place grounded in equality and serves the needs of all people. Together, we can overcome any challenge, and right now, our challenge is to build a better future. We can change the policies that make the rich richer, while leaving the rest of us behind. What we faced this past year has given us a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to address what the pandemic has exposed. Our communities continue to cry out for police accountability. It's time for the executive's office to lead the way and get it done. Homelessness has been an emergency for over a decade and nothing seems to change. We need solutions now because everyone deserves a safe place to live. Families in King County work hard every day to improve their lives. They deserve a leader who will work just as hard for them. Dr. King understood the fierce urgency of now. It's our turn to step up and get things done, because tomorrow is today. This is our time to fight for the future we want to live in. My name is Joe Wynn, and I'm running for King County Executive, and I'm asking for your support.
Paid for by friends of Joe Wynn.
City. I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
Back on this rap-ish, I ain't even broke a sweat, homie, this practice. Pondering my next move, staring at my track list, hope I ain't miss my window. Praying like a Baptist, Seattle's own, tired of this Game of Thrones. They made a list of the best rappers and guess who wasn't on? While the disrespect continues, I'm steady packing these venues.
Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media.
Well, all right. We're still trying to figure that. All right. So listen, a few things here. Always keeping it real. I don't know what happened. I guess miscommunication here with our guest, Paula Sardinas. So she's not here. Our programming today was actually built around interview stuff, so we don't have a lot of stuff here in the computer to continue discussion. And I'm not just going to ramble on and on and on and on. So which means that we're going to cut our show short today. Which is good because I get to take my staff out here to lunch because we're gonna get out of here early. So we'll do. Oh, okay. Well, let's use this angle, huh? I mean, why not? Today's just an experiment. Apparently, we're just trying some of everything out. Yeah, why not? You know, we gotta get that spicy chicken sandwich down the street. Yeah, Burbs. No, I'm saying we'll check that out. All right, so. Before we do get out of here on this highly abbreviated and improvised show, a few things. We'll put up our overlay one more time. 7 o'clock tonight, 7 p.m., the Emerald turns 7. It's the live stream. You can watch that anywhere you're watching the Morning Update show. Share, give, lead. And it said, hashtag Team Emerald. So you want to tune in for that. And then tomorrow... Well, I hope you're ready for this. Tomorrow, I'm out as well. And so you're going to have Jake Gravbrot and Eric Calligraphy for Feel Good Friday. So if you've been having a bad week thus far, hopefully you haven't, but if you have, tomorrow is the day you really want to tune in because it's Feel Good Friday with Jake Grabrot and Eric Calligraphy. And then on Monday, me or Trey Holiday and I return to the set. But real excited about tomorrow. Jake Grabrot's been working on a lot of stuff. So is Eric Calligraphy. So we got a fun show tomorrow with them. Outside of that, yeah, I don't know, man. Check back 7 p.m. tonight with the Emerald. Sorry, abbreviated show, but we just keep it moving. That being said, go forward in your purpose, go forward in your humanity, and until tomorrow at 11 a.m., peace.
Lift every voice and sing till earth in heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun.